Most people don't fail because they lack talent. Most people fail because they end up losing themselves trying to become a copy of someone else. What's up, you guys? My name is Jalil, if we haven't met, and I make all things content. If you feel like you've been left out, you're undiscovered, and you have a piece of you that you're desperately waiting to let go of and show the world, you're in the right place. To be completely honest with you guys, it's taken me like such a long time to realize how important authenticity is. I've tried so many different things. I've tried coming up with scripts, writing down just whatever is gonna make me feel like or think that people are going to listen, get on camera and talk about things that I feel like people are going to listen to, XYZ. Just throughout that process, like I'm starting to realize like how much like authenticity matters and how much in order for me to actually have reach, I myself have to be authentic too. And in learning that, in realizing that, I wanted to prepare a message for you guys to also learn how to be authentic, especially in a world where everyone is copying each other. Everyone is constantly mimicking each other. And there goes the fire truck. So I was at the gym this morning, and as I was leaving, I couldn't help but realize like how often like everybody just ends up doing the same thing, repeating the same things, right? It's like everyone's trying to get a bigger chest. Everyone wants the sharpest chin line. You want the sports car, you want the money, you want the lifestyle. It's like, why do you want all those things? It's because you saw someone else who had it themselves. You want the golden doodle, you want the newest phone, you want the nicest watch. You want these things because you saw someone else who had it, and you think that in order to get the results they have out of life, you have to do the same things and look the same way, etc., etc. And what you end up doing is just being a replica. You end up being a copy of someone else rather than just being who God made you to be. And I think just even talking about this helps me open up and realize how much I've done the same thing myself. And it's like, how much better could life be if we all stopped doing what someone else was doing, right? So I posted like over 500 different pieces, 500 pieces. Look, there I am. I have my own little thing going on where my mind thinks faster than my words come out. So let me restart. I've posted over 500 pieces of content on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I posted a ton of videos mainly because I wanted to learn how to communicate. I wanted to learn social media. I also wanted to grow my accounts to monetize it and hopefully start making money. I feel like I don't know. I just feel like everyone starts off like that. But yeah, that's how I started off. Wanting to just like grow my accounts, get monetized, so I can actually make money on social media. Because realistically, I don't like my job, and I would love to do this the rest of my life to have conversations with people. And this is one of the best ways to have a conversation without being interrupted all the time. But so yeah, I post over 500 pieces of content throughout all these different social media platforms. And something that I keep coming back to and realizing is how many people post the exact same things and how many people tell you to, oh, look at what this other content creator did and just do what they did because if it worked for them, it will work for you. And it's like, yeah, to a degree, that's true. But at the same time, you see people being exact copies of another creator. I'm not going to lie. I'm not gonna lie. I have a content creator that I'm a fan of. His name is Chase. Buddy has a mustache. So guess what I did? Gone. I was watching a bunch of videos of like millionaires and billionaires all, you know, talking about how they accumulated wealth and all this kind of stuff. And something I noticed is that they're all clean cut. So guess what I did? Gone. And I'm like, I enjoy having the stash. I enjoy rocking the stash, and it's been pretty cool to like add that to my game, to my overall aesthetic. But at the same time, I would have never done that if I didn't see someone else do the same thing. And to a degree, I think that's what creativity is. Not just seeing someone do something and you do the same thing, but to take two things that don't make sense, that probably should not be together, and putting them together, right? And I think that's what's missing. That's what's missing in content. That's what's missing in our society. That's what's missing in people. I think people try too hard to be something that realistically they aren't. And what you end up seeing with the most creative people I've ever met in my life aren't replicas of someone else. They're them, and you can tell they're creative because there's something about them that's not put together at all. But them not being put together is put together, right? And I think there's so many people missing that aspect of their life that there's so many people that even me myself, I ain't even gonna lie, we want to look put together, but in trying to impress others. And that just doesn't work at the end of the day because you end up living for other people. You end up doing everything you're doing to impress someone else. And that's not a life of freedom. That's a life of realistically being enslaved to the thoughts of someone else. And I can't think of a other way of being in bondage. It's like when I was growing up, going to church all throughout high school. I forgot what the song is called, but the lyrics were, I'm no longer a slave to fear. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. And I remember in high school, or I would, be in these moments of worship, and I like think like, dang, like I'm literally living in bondage to the thought of what someone else is thinking about me. And the last thing I want to do is be a slave to my own thoughts about what someone else is thinking about me, even though they might not even be thinking about me. That's the crazy part, is like a lot of times we like think that someone else is thinking something about us that they're truly not even thinking at all. But you're living a life trying to impress someone else that's not even thinking about you realistically. And it's like, what better way to, in my opinion, like develop that true strength and confidence, like inner strength and confidence, other than putting yourself out there to be judged. And that's something that posting over 500 pieces of content has taught me, is that it's better to be in the position of being judged than being in the position of judging other people. And through that, I've learned what security feels like. I've learned what genuine security feels like. I've learned what confidence means. Because it doesn't matter how many likes I get, it doesn't matter how many dislikes I get or bad comments I get. It doesn't matter how my videos perform. I have so much confidence in the message and the things that I say because they're coming from my heart, they're coming from my mind, they're coming from me, that I can say it and say it with no doubt and believe in what I'm saying, to the point to where, like, if this is me, this is me. This is what I have to offer at the moment, and this is what I have to give. And one day I'll have more to offer. One day I'll have something better to offer. And when that day comes, you guys will receive it. But right now, this is all I have to give. If I'm not completely clear in my speech, if you're not completely clear in your speech, then that's what you have to give. And you shouldn't judge yourself for it. Well, to a degree, you should, because you can always get better. But you shouldn't be in fear of what someone else is going to say about you, because you already know your own limitations. It's like if you already know you're limited, but you're doing everything you can to grow, you're seeking growth and you're becoming better at it. Dive into that and don't fear diving into it, because you already know what the outcome is going to be, and that's going to be growth. Right? If you have every intention to hit the gym and grow your bench max, you already know you're going to be putting in 10,000 reps. You're going to start with the bar. You're going to go from the bar to a plate. You're going to go from a plate to 225. You go from 225 to 255 and then to 305. But that's probably going to take 6 months to a year. And you have to bear the weight of people seeing you lifting a bar on the very first day. And honestly, screw whoever looks at you and judges you for that. Even if they are looking, Someone might not even be looking at you and judging you for just lifting the bar. But if they are, screw them. They're not you. They don't have to go through what you're going through. They don't have to face what you're facing. And they're also not going to know what it's like to go from benching a bar to benching 3 plates. I mean, not everyone gets to have that experience. And now you have the experience to teach someone how to do the same thing. There's people out here who are naturally strong who don't know how to teach someone how to go from being weak to actually having strength. And you bared that weight. You went through the process and you took the step of doing that thing. Therefore, you can now teach someone how to do it. That's a great process to teach someone. And now you don't have to copy what someone else is saying. You don't have to replicate someone else's process because you have your own. You went through it, therefore you can teach someone how to do it. And that doesn't make you an expert. It doesn't make you a professional. It just makes you a person that lived through the experience. And now that you live through the experience, you have the ability to teach someone who is where you are or wants to be where you are and get better, be better. So, but I don't know. Is that all? I don't even know if that's all I have to say, but I just wanted to talk about authenticity because it's so important. It's being creative is so important. Like having new ideas, stretching yourself, stretching your mind. It's so important, especially going forward in just the society that we live in, where, like I said, everybody just wants to be the same thing. You want to look cool, you want to fit in, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Fitting in is cool, but at the end of the day, like you can only fit in for so long. Like especially in places that cuz you can only fit in for so long before it just gets old. You look around and you see everyone, especially if you're a creative person, especially if you know you're meant and born to do something. You're only going to be doing it for so long before you look around and you're like, I don't want to be like any of y'all. I want to do my own thing, right? And explore my like go on my own journey and not be confined to all these rules and expectations you're putting on me. And that's why religion isn't working in America. That's why people seek a relationship with the Father. You seek out a relationship with God. Because and the Bible doesn't even teach religion. The Bible teaches a relationship. It teaches faith through love, through understanding, through compassion, through kindness, through generosity. Instead of things being a rule. This is the rule, give 10%. This is the rule, love thy neighbor. No, it's like the the less of you there is, the more you submit to Christ, the more Jesus expresses himself. Right? The more Christ like you are. And it's not something you have to force. It's not a rule you have to follow. You just submit to the Father and Jesus will express himself to you. Express himself through you, or God will express himself through you. And it's like I can't think of a better form of creativity. But I don't know, I don't want to yap for too long. I just kind of just wanted to because I created a video before this. I made a video before this, and then my gimbal died, and my gimbal flopped. And I was watching the video, and I was like, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I had my phone sitting right here, and I was reading off of it. I was like, I'm trying to do this video about authenticity, and I'm reading from ChatGPT. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna charge my gimbal up. I'm gonna do this all over again, and try my best not to edit this video and just just flow, and it's tough because I know like I see all these people creating these YouTube videos and talk about like what to do to get more followers and get monetized as fast as possible. And I'm like, I c- I want to follow the structure. I just can't. Like I want to make the videos that I want to make, and who they're for. Who they're not for, they're not for. And I know God has put this message in my heart, put a message in my heart because I have a lot of lived experience. I've done a lot of things that I'm proud of, and I've done a lot of things I'm not proud of. And just whatever God reveals to you guys through me, I just hope and pray that, you know, you guys are being led to a better outcome, better possibilities, and a better nature, you know, being a better version of yourself, being the best version of yourself that you can be. If I can teach you guys how to not go through some of the things I went through, how to avoid some things and, you know, just have like better outcomes, like I feel like I'll have done what I was supposed to do. But I just want to recap and go over what I talked about before to kind of like illustrate this whole thing a little better. One, seek to be the most authentic version of you because the world doesn't need another Alex Hormozy. The world doesn't need another JFK. The world doesn't need another Malcolm X. The world needs the most developed, the most Christ-like version of yourself that you can possibly be, because you were called to be the light of the world, and salt cannot lose its saltiness. So when you're making your content, seek to be uniquely you. Seek to be the most authentic version of yourself. Knowing at first you might not get a lot of clout. You might not get a lot of clout. You might not get a lot of like, and your videos might not perform like you expect. But over time, authenticity is what creates genuine branding. It's what creates the person that people want to look to learn how to be themselves as well. And I feel like just being the most creative, the most authentic version of yourself is what people actually want to engage with. You're the kind of person that people actually want to engage with, rather than people trying to engage with this superstar personality that when you meet them, you talk to them, they're really not that. They're really not like this. So yeah, the world doesn't need another Alex Hormozy. 2, don't fear being judged, because it's better to be in that position of being judged than being in the position of judging. It's better to be in the position to know that you can always seek growth and understanding, rather than being in the position of thinking that you know it all and that you have the power and the authority to judge another person. Don't fear being judged. Only God can judge you. Only you should be able to judge yourself. Only you should compete with you. You should compete with who you were yesterday. You should compete with your own content. You make a video, you look at the video, and you know that there's something about this that can be better, and you correct it. But don't listen to other people trying to correct you in what you're doing when you already know it. You trust the process, and you trust God. And the fact that you're already on the process of progress, it's already been perfected. It's the work is already done. All you have to do is follow what you already know to be true. And I think that's all I said throughout the video. Those really were the 2 points that I want to make. Is, I mean, just really at the end of the day, just being authentically you. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this video up. If you guys enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys for tapping in and paying attention if you made it this far. And we'll see you next time. Peace.